Yes, sir. We are
Yes.
back. That
Happy
black
Wednesday.
hour is upon us, ladies and gentlemen.
I see you got the Locks MAGA hat on. I'll see you.
It's the only red hat I'll ever wear, man. The only red
I
hat
love
I'll
it.
ever wear is the LOX hat, man.
LOX.
If you see me with the
Yeah.
red hat, just know it is the LOX hat. It is not the MAGA hat.
They want us to be MAGA men so bad.
Big MAGA. Okay.
Oh, they're gonna clip that up. Clip that up, Mike.
Remix. They're gonna
For
remix
real.
and put it in the hook. Okay, there's so much to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. But before we start, just a friendly reminder:
Yes.
get your tickets to Invest Fest.
Yes.
Very, very vitally important. This is going to be one for the books. One for the
I
books.
agree.
One to remember. We just updated the flyer, the new version, so we got some names that wasn't on the previous one. A couple names that you may be familiar with or may not. I don't know. 50 Cent, Shannon Sharp, people like that.
God is good.
So yeah.
50, bring Drake. I know y'all been kicking it tough in Toronto. Bring the boy.
Trizzy, you never know. Stranger things have happened. So get your tickets to InvestFest. And don't forget, on Monday, Troy did his presentation and talked about, his option strategy. He'll be teaching his options class this week. So we also are running that sale for EYL University. Enter code Market Mondays at checkout for your discount. I think there's 3 days left. There are 3 days left for you to take advantage of that offer. So enter code Market Mondays. This is the very vital time in the market. There's some downturns that happen. There's some buying opportunities. You have to take advantage when the opportunity presents itself. And the only way that you can take advantage is if you're educated and you're prepared. So this one is the one, man. This is a very, very important situation. I think his class is Thursday, tomorrow. His class is tomorrow, 7:00 Eastern Standard Time. Like I said, there's about 48 hours left on that sale, but you really want to get in before tomorrow because that's the class. If you can't make the class live, we'll have the replay. Enter code Market Mondays upon checkout, ladies and gentlemen.
And I'll say this too: don't wait for the replay because you may miss a move the night of or the morning of, and then you're gonna be like, "Damn, I got the replay," and it may cost you 35%, 80% down the road. So please take advantage of it immediately. Maybe I'll join back in September or October. I'm gonna tune into the class myself. Like you said, we're at a very pivotal time. Some strange things are going on in the market. We have some deep dips, crowd strike. We'll talk about it. But yes, please join immediately and let's get this money and be able to make money in any market.
That's a fact. Ian, announcements.
Yes, if you want to get rich from the market long term, go to ianinvest.com. I'll tell you what to get in, what to get out, what to stay away from, what disasters may happen so you can get your puts or short your futures. If I made you money, please put yes in chat. Get your tickets to InvestFest. I will be covering live trading, futures trading on stage. To everyone in the comments who was saying, you guys are holding back about the conversations about Trump and the da-da-da-da-da-da. Rashad and I like living. Shout out to the World Economic Forum, the International Monetary Fund, B613, the CIA, Skull and Bones, the National Justice Society. Listen, bro, I know y'all want the hot, salacious take, but I know if something happened to me, Lord willing, and that nothing ever does, and I get to live to 103, y'all not gonna send my mama no flowers. So read between the lines and enjoy the show. Okay, y'all need to just stick to y'all lane. Now, I was talking about this on Market Mondays, year 1 and 2. Didn't we tell you 3 months ago a global outage, a cybersecurity attack was going to happen? Great. What do I know? And then shout out to Rashad McCants, shout out to Kyrie, shout out to Stephens Cole, King Dre, shout out to Earn Your Leisure. Appreciate y'all. Next year gonna be 5 years. That's crazy.
Time flies.
Market Mondays. Time flies when you're having fun, man.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Time flies, man. That discount code is for EYLUniversity.com. EYLUniversity.com. That's a discount code for choice options class. And it's discount code Market Mondays.
One trade to take care of your membership for 15 years.
That's
what?
That's a fact. That is a fact.
Okay. Abdullah, put me on the schedule for the pricing strategy combo, please. What?
All right. So we got to talk about a lot of different stuff that's happened.
Yep.
But the first thing, we just had the conversation off camera, but okay. American basketball team, one of the greatest teams ever put together, Hall of Famers, legendary players. They almost lost to South Sudan on Saturday, right? Interesting. Yep. A lot of people were very surprised. Paul Pierce being one of them. Paul Pierce made some very ignorant comments when it comes to South Sudan. Said that he doesn't know how they got into the tournament. They probably don't have anybody over 6'3" on their team, and the U.S. is going to win by at least 35 points. Him and Skip Bayless, they was kind of having this conversation. They win by 1 point, powered by the great LeBron James with a layup with 8 seconds left and a questionable non-call at the end of the game to keep their undefeated record. Now, keep in mind, this is just the exhibition game. This is the last exhibition game, I believe, until the Olympics. So it's not the end of the world if they lose, right? But it does speak. It speaks to a few different things, right? So,
yep.
Okay. What does this speak to as far as the future of sport basketball in America?
Number one, this is in 1992, and the world is not in awe of us. The world is caught up. There's other talent elsewhere. Paul Pierce, I love you, amazing basketball player. The statement is crazy. Shout out to Kevin Garnett, the ticket. Hey, check your boy on some of these comments. But I want to have a conversation, and I ask you the question: with the rise of international stars in the NBA and world basketball, is the dream for the inner city kid to make it to the NBA slowly dying? I remember when I was coming up, it was Sebastian Telfair, Marbury, Ronnie Fields, Kevin Garnett, Eric Gordon, Derrick Rose. Now, when I look at this leaderboard for the next 4 or 5 years, not that many inner city kids are on it. So I think we can talk about the politics of the NBA and NFL looking to expand internationally. But is the dream for the inner city kid to make it to the NBA slowly being taken away?
Well, that's the bigger question. And I'm glad you brought that up, because that's the question that it all relates back to finances. So for a long time,
always,
a lot of people, when Jay-Z said all blacks got is sports and entertainment, right? There's a narrative that if you wanted to become successful, you either, like Biggie said, you either slinging crack rocks or you got a wicked jump shot. You had to play a sport, specifically basketball or football, or you had to be a rapper, right? So, okay. Basketball gives more opportunities. Well, football, you get a lot of opportunities, but as far as making real money,
the financial upside,
basketball has a lot more financial upside than football.
Yep.
So for a long time, basketball has been dominated by people, like you said, from inner city environments or people from humble beginnings. Even like Michael Jordan, he's not from the inner city, but humble beginnings, right?
Yes.
Working class family. Magic Johnson, same thing, working class family. LeBron James, everybody knows his story, single parent from the projects of Akron, Ohio. Carmelo Anthony, came up in Brooklyn, then moved to Baltimore. Kevin Durant, working class environment in Maryland. Allen Iverson from VA. Man, the list goes on. We can just, the list goes on, right? That's been traditionally, that has been the model over the last 40 years or so, right? Is that the league has been dominated by Black Americans who come from working class environments or poor neighborhoods. That's been traditional. Okay. That's over. And the thing about it is that this is why we keep telling you, you gotta get into AI, you gotta get into entrepreneurship, because the window's getting even smaller, right?
We're
The
taking it away.
opportunities for that. So let's break this down a little bit. Why is it becoming increasingly over? Well, the first thing is that Americans, right? When now you have NBA players who are grooming their own kids, right, to become NBA players, like Carmelo Anthony, like LeBron James, like Chris Paul, the list goes on. What's the advantage that they'll have over an inner city kid? Well, they have resources, right? They have they have personal trainers, that the best personal trainers. They have the best
Gilbert Arenas' son. Yeah.
Gilbert Arenas' son. They have the best chefs. They're in schools that are tailored to their talents early on, right? They're getting coaching from their parents who know the game better than anybody, right? So they haven't. So these are rich kids from NBA players that are taking spots. That's one group of people.
That's one.
The next group of people is middle class, upper middle class, rich white kids. Now they've invested into the sport with personal trainers. The personal trainer epidemic has become skyrocketed, where it's like kids don't even go to the park by themselves no more. The only way that they play is an organized run. Like you see, like Kevin Brinkley when he does the runs in New York, like it's like an organized run.
Chris Brinkley.
They do the organized run, stuff like that. So now there's a lot of white people who have invested money into their children, and a lot of these kids are good, right? Like we can't act like these kids are not talented. They're actually they've made up a lot of gap. And then the other component is the international players. So international stars, when you look at Canada, you look at Shai, you look at Devin, you look at all of these, there's a lot of talent in Canada, and there has been for a long time, right? They've developed a good system,
a great system,
and they have a good program. Europe is totally different. Europe, these kids is being, Luka was a pro at 13, 14 years old.
Yes.
Playing against grown men. Their system is completely different. Like how we have to go to school, and then at 18 we graduate, and then we go to college. Like if you show talent in Europe when you're young, whether it's soccer, whether it's basketball, then they put you in like professional program leagues as a kid, and you're a professional as a teenager, right? So your level of expertise, your level of just awareness is completely different than an American. Your maturity is completely different than an American. So it's no surprise when you see the Europeans coming over here. You got Joker, you got Luka, you got Wembyamba. These dudes has been professional players for forever. They've already been
groomed to be pros.
Right. And so they're like leaps and bounds as far as better than the young talent in America a lot of times. And then you got Africa. So this brings us back to this conversation of the South Sudan. And even when we was in Africa and we was talking to some of the brothers out there, and they was talking about Joel Embiid, right? There's a lot of Africans that's in the league now. A lot of them, even Wemby is half African. His father is from Ghana, Greek freak. His parents are immigrants from Ghana. So a lot of the Africans are refugees, immigrants that moved to Europe or moved to America or moved to Canada and grew up there. But still in the continent of Africa, there's still a lot of talent, a lot of resources, right? It's not by accident.
Incredible amount. Yep.
These dudes just moved to different countries, and they've moved. If they didn't move to those different countries, would they have the opportunity? So
it would have been done for.
Once the NBA starts to really invest into these countries, you're going to see a whole new talent pool growing out of Congo, out of Ghana, out of South Sudan, out of, like, even for Paul Pierce to make that statement as far as him to say South Sudan, the tallest player is probably 6'3". That's pretty ignorant, because they're the tallest people in the world. Their tribe, like when you look at Manu Bol, he was like 7'3". Luau Deng. There's like a bunch of players that have come from specifically from that South Sudan region. They're very tall people. So If you are a parent,
Mm-hmm.
just know if you trying to get your kid into the NBA, it's going to be increasingly harder. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why it's important to diversify and not focus just on sports because the days of the good story of the kid coming from the projects making it to the NBA, that's almost over with.
It's almost over. Okay, like let's say Xander, Nas, same age range. What do you think it would cost per year to get them prepared to make the NBA?
I'll tell you what, I went to IMG Academy, which is probably one of the top prep schools in America. If you're familiar with IMG, it's a training facility school that is built. Most schools, you build sports around the education. Like education is number one, then it's extra. They call it extracurricular activities, right? IMG is the inverse of that. You build the education around the sport. So the sport is what you go there for, and then they tailor make your educational experience around your sport. So you lift in the morning, you might go to class for a couple hours, then you run, then you go to class, then you train at night. So it's a little different experience. But I was there when basketball first started. So I had
Oh, you went to IMG?
Yeah, I went there for 2 years.
Oh, you was a dog. What?
So,
okay.
But that was 20 years ago. I was there when it first started. Right now, IMG, and maybe Troy, you can give me the cliff notes on this. $80,000 a year, I believe. That's how much it costs. That's how much it costs to go there, right? $80,000. And what you're getting for that is you're getting top trainers, you're getting
world class,
nutritionists, you're getting, round the clock workouts, you're getting all of that stuff. So it's like, all right, people are investing. If you're going to invest $80,000 into your kid, right? And keep in mind, that's just to go to school. That's not what you're going to do in the off season, because you're not going to be at IMG for 12 months out the year, right? So when you come home, you might go to basketball camps. You might have a personal trainer. You round it out to okay. So Troy just texted us. IMG Academy ranges from $69,000 to $94,000, depending on the program and the child's age. So people are spending $100,000 a year, $100,000 a year, to make sure that their kid is a top level athlete. Think about that. Some people don't even make $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
Right. The average American makes what, 50,000? Something. The average black person makes 40-something thousand, $45,000. So some people is paying $100,000 a year just for their kid to get the top athletic experience. How is a kid going to compete with that if they just coming up, figuring it out, eating peanut butter and jelly every day?
Yeah, it's turning it really into tennis. Even last year when I had a chance to take Xander to meet Steph, shout out to Nicole for connecting me with Chase to do that event. And Xander was like, "Hey, how do I make it to the league?" And I can see Steph kind of hesitate. He's like, "Hey, work on your game every day." I'm like, "I got some resources to be able to." He's like, "Get him a trainer now, education now, conditioning now, 1,000 shots, shotgun." Like, it's turning into what tennis was in the 90s. And for those who don't think the costs are worth it, when potentially by the time Nas and Xander are eligible to make it to the NBA, some of those contracts may be $115 million a year.
That's a fact.
Now we're talking hedge fund level, Stanley Druckenmiller level money per year. And then, of course, this always happens. It happens with CW and UPN. They will take black assets and build up the brand. And as soon as it gets to mass peak, let's change the routing of what talent goes here and is allowed to play here and make this kind of money. For the NFL to be as popular as it is, when you look at to see who's paid the most, is always unique to see how low some of these contracts are in comparison to the NBA. Contracts are amazing now, but by the time they're eligible, 115, 120, 130 a year will be the norm.
Yo, you bring up a good point as far as it being like tennis or golf. These are sports that have been dominated by rich people, right? Because you have to have resources to play golf. You have to have resources to play tennis. And basketball, it's becoming like that. IMG, we just got the information. Basketball is the most expensive sport. $96,000 a year. The school generates.
Oh, wait. Go ahead. Say it.
The school generates $80 million of annual revenue. And like I said, for me, IMG changed my life because I never saw that was my first opportunity seeing something like that, like, just being around rich kids at a very high level, eating, having a personal chef, training. I was in the best shape of my life. I was doing yoga with Maria Sharapova, was in my yoga class. It changed my life. But
like, hold on. Say that again. Might clip this up. What?
Fact.
Big as the what?
One day we'll tell a story. All right. Well, yeah, it's interesting. When money gets that big, people they're gonna want to play a part in that. You start to make $100 million.
Oh my God! And Troy just sent us this. Endeavor sold IMG. Well, the IMG was sold for 1.25 billion. Was bought by Endeavor. Endeavor, for those of you who don't know, if you ever watch Entourage, the RE, that's the. What are we talking about? So for everyone who says, "Hey, you guys are talking about these topics," but this always goes back to the money, the selection of partner, who you build with, the businesses you choose to be a part of. Every area that we have access to, take the Diddy-ish out of it. Rap has been around, 40 years, started in New York. There may be 5 prayers for you, Irv. There may be 5 hip-hop moguls that are still well-to-do, and the entire rap industry probably was worth 29 billion in total market cap. 5 moguls have money still. You think that's by accident or by design? So there's a couple ways you can assassinate. You can do it the way that it happened because they couldn't get to the slope on the roof in time. Okay. But the financial assassinations is what we don't talk about enough. And if I can make things so pricey while inflation goes up and we're switching over to digital currencies, that's how I can make sure that we are an underclass. And it's being done right in front of us. That's why it's important for us not to be consumers and owners of these things.
Facts. Okay. Yeah. All right. Move on. Let's move on. We talked about this on Market Mondays, but no, we gotta just talk about it again a little in depth. This is a monumental moment in American history. President Joseph Biden, a few days ago, over the weekend, suspended his campaign, effectively stepping down. Right? Wow. Wowzers. It's one of these things. I hate to say I told you so. I don't want to spike the football because I don't think
you should though. Do your dance.
I don't think it's a time.
I want to see my do your dance. I
want to be respectful and I want to be classy in this situation. Because we do have a lot of friends in the world of politics. Joseph Biden, I think that he I think he was a good president. He made some very vital mistakes, mishandling of foreign policy. There's a lot of things on his legacy that he's going to have to live with, for sure, for sure. But I will say this: he should have done this months ago. When I went to Washington and I met with the Democrats, I said that I don't see how he wins. I really don't see how he wins. And I think that they were stubborn and they were trying to live on to the hope that it would get better, that Trump would fall apart, that people would rail against Trump when they find out all of this stuff with these allegations of him. It didn't matter. Nothing mattered. And now we're at a point now where, money rules the world. Once the dude from Netflix, once these George Clooney, all of these guys, these big donors said that they're not going to donate to his campaign. They put pressure on him. Then Hakeem Jeffries had to meet with him and told him that we're not going to support you. Then big homie Obama had to come in and say throw in the towel.
Uncle Barry, throw it in.
Uncle Barry got involved. It was time to throw in the towel. And now we are faced with this is pretty historic if you think about it. Not in my lifetime. I've never seen an incumbent president step down. I've never seen an incumbent president step down in the middle of an election before. No. And I definitely haven't seen it 4 months before an election. What the hell is going on in America?
I mean, fortunately, kudos to all of our Democratic friends and people that we met at VP House, and right decision, maybe wrong time, but I commend them for having a tough conversation. This goes back to finance and business. Sometimes you have to have the tough conversations that you don't want to have to figure out what is best for the empire, the company, the family, or for you. Like you said, I've never seen this happen before. Definitely not 4 months before. I definitely have to ask, who do you think should run and who should be the VP? And more importantly, who has a chance to beat Trump? But I think after the assassination attempt and how the country rallied around Trump, I think the writing was on the wall. I was at my dad's house when it happened with Xander and family, and the thought was there's nothing that Biden can do to beat him right now. So you need a new face to give you a shot to win. And if you really believe that democracy is up and the country can take this hard turn, if Democrats don't win, they definitely did the right thing. But 4 months behind is insane.
It's nasty work, and I feel like Kamala she has the right to run for president.
Do you think she can win though?
Probably not, but she has a chance. But even if she doesn't win, I think that it's a historic race that needs to be ran. Right? We've never had a Black woman as the nominee of a party, Democrat or Republican. That's never happened before. So I feel like she has a shot of winning. Is she the favorite right now today? No, but she'll have a lot of money because she gets to inherit Biden's war chest. That's another thing. She already inherit $1 billion, right? People already know her name. She'll have to do a lot of groundwork, and she has to reach out to people and, make herself more appealing to the average person. But we've met with her. We have a relationship with her, and to me, I think that she's qualified. I think that she can get the job done. So
this week, immediately, I would announce everybody I want in my cabinet. No traditional rollout VP this week. No, what's the dream team? Here's how we get the country on board. You need like the first 90-day plan, first year plan. By year 2, I plan to do this. Announce the entire cabinet if you want any chance of winning. So, but Biden did the right thing. I think that conversation with Barack, like you said, definitely turned the tide. But you got to hit the ground running. 4 months to win a campaign for one of the most important elections ever is crazy. And y'all got on me, but if Plies is y'all #1 advisor, you have no shot.
Facts.
Shout out to Plies. Go pay him his $10 million. Yep. RNC paid Amber what they paid her. So this is crazy.
All right. So let's get into this relationship back a little bit.
Oh my God.
How do you feel about sharing your location with your partner? Like all times. All times.
Like this your girl?
Yes.
Yeah, if it's my baby, yeah. Now, fellas, this is a secret. Like, do what I do. Kevin Gates, you got 2 phones.
The 2 phones.
So the one, if you want to be a dog, then I'll be getting into my good boy bag, right? Shout out to my baby, because I want her to be like, oh my God, it's your big age. You should be telling me how to be bad. But what you could do, if you leave one in one location to the other with you, it'd be good. Now, for those men who want everlasting love and peace and harmony, I don't think nothing wrong with it. I've shared location before. I don't mean nothing. Also, fellas, you got to know too, just because your girl share location with you does not mean that she being good.
That's a fact.
You'll call and you'll check. No, baby, I'm just laying down watching blackout. Who laying next to her? Blacking out. Hit that FaceTime button and have a walk around. Energy be different at 2 a.m. versus 7. Got to be mindful. Babe, I had a long day at work. It's been so long. And then, they took away the funding for Black women, so I got to be up extra. Hit that FaceTime button. Shout out to the women who be telling they men, oh, it's too dark in here. I can't FaceTime you. You got a light on your phone. Most of y'all walk around with ring lights and then be like, it's too dark to FaceTime you, my baby. Okay. I hear you. So, but no, me personally, if we are in a relationship, I don't handle it. I prefer, go ahead. And I hit the indefinitely button.
You prefer?
If that's my baby, but
why do you need to share? My thing is this, right? Why do we need to from a other
Rashad Invest Confessor's coming? No. I crazy. For those of you who be like, yo, Rashad be setting Ian up to talk crazy on Blackout. Until after Invest Fest. Yeah, what's up? I'll go get the one who will put up 50. Let me guard him. Let Shotty get his points off. Nah, until after Invest Fest.
Oh man, no, I'm not gonna go too crazy. I just don't understand what, like, I feel like from a security standpoint, right? That's valid, like as far as you know,
yeah, for that reason,
right? From a security
safety
standpoint, like, you know, especially like, yo, it's late at night or whatever, the woman's out. You know, you want to be able to know where she's at, right? Because anything can happen. Outside of that, I don't know why we have to share locations, right? Because this goes back to
why they want the location.
This goes back to my theory of if you have to ask a question, the answer doesn't matter. If I have to ask where you are, where you are doesn't matter. Like if I have to ask, like if I have to ask where you are as far as like looking on a device, like I could just text, say, what you up to, what you doing. If I'm not convinced that you're telling me,
and if she cares, she'll send it.
Right. If I'm not convinced that you're telling me the truth when I ask you what's up with you or what you're doing, or if I'm even thinking like, yo, what is she really doing right now? If I have those thoughts in my brain, why are we even together? Because there's no trust.
Everybody not as player as you, bro.
But I'm just saying you got to have trust.
This is a conversation we got to have. No, trust. Okay, do you give 100% trust in the beginning, or is trust earned? For me, you start at settle. Then you earn trust pellets over time.
So you all right. So if you get with somebody, automatically you don't have no trust for them at all.
Life has taught me that trust has to be earned and all. Okay, let's even take it in the business sense. How many people have we encountered or you done business with that you thought they were going to be upstanding and telling you that they love you and that they're your friend and they can't wait to see you win, and as soon as you start winning, they hate to see you win?
Well, no, I agree with you. You can't just trust somebody as soon as you meet them. That's a fact. You do have to build up trust. But my thing is this: if I meet somebody, I don't even need to trust you from the beginning because I'm observing. You're not my girl. You're not. You know, we haven't committed to each other. But I'm observing your behavior. I might inquire. I might do some background research to kind of know what the vibe.
You got ChatGPT in your brain on people habits, yo. When Shotty do this, he figured something out.
Had to double check before the lovebirds get moved to the suburbs. I had to double check.
For real. Got to.
So by the time I'm in a vibe, I've done my research. I've observed the person. I've made an educated decision. You can still be wrong. You can still be wrong, but I'm going out on a limb to say I have enough trust in this person to not have to worry about where she's at, who she's with, what she's doing. I'm gonna give her, you know, free range because I feel like ultimately whatever you do comes back. The stories always come back.
Always.
But I don't want to have to live with that burden of looking over my shoulder and feeling like, yo, like I gotta wake up in the middle of the night and like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want
anybody, but you asked me would I share mine with my significant other. I don't mind too.
You don't mind
now, fella? No, I'll mind it because the truth, and it's the truth. If I'm gonna do dirt, I'm gonna do dirt regardless.
You know, you could share location and still be that doesn't mean anything.
But if that's what's going to give her safety, and okay, but I do it more for safety reasons.
Safety for yourself.
Yeah. So, but I share with my parents, I share with significant others, share with Xander. You know what I mean?
All right. Yeah. Okay.
But if they're like, baby, like I know you guys are going to be at Invest Fest talking to Steve Harvey. Is it okay? Yeah, I'll share them. So you know what the hotel I'm at. Cool. If you're not there with me, now that's another kind. You should be there. There's a conversation that I had. Well, girl, you want to know my location? You should be there. That's why you're not here now.
That's why.
Almost.
All right. Well, it's interesting. Okay. All right.
But audience, what do you think? Should you share your location with your significant other if you have nothing to hide?
Or if somebody asks you, if your significant other asks you to share your location indefinitely, not for 30 minutes, If they come to you and say, "Hey, babe, I thought about it. I want to start sharing our locations indefinitely. I want like 24 hours a day. I would like for us to share our locations with each other."
Mm-hmm.
What was your response? Because I already know what my response is going to be.
As hell no. Don't weaponize your platform, Rashad. You smart. You smart. See, some of the conversations, y'all, if y'all have them get your platform, have them in public. You don't even have to have the conversations in private. Yeah. And definitely it's too much. See, I'll take the counter. This is what works. Yeah, you need balance. You need one end and the other. Great.
Put it chat. Okay.
And my thing is like you might as well get it now because but when I'm done with you, you ain't never gonna know who I'm at. Well, you gonna know me, but hit that explore page. But
hit the explore page. Follow me on the gram. Check my stories. Okay. Can money buy happiness? There's a report that recently came out that said money can indeed buy happiness. There's actually some research that's been done on this. Let me pull up the scientific research that has been done to solidify this age-old thing. So new research shows that ultra wealthy individuals report higher levels of contentment compared to those earning six-figure salaries. The study, which indicates data from previous research and surveys of millionaires and richest Americans, revealed that individuals with net worths in the millions or billions rate their life satisfaction between 5.5 and 6 out of 7. In contrast to those earning 100,000, report a satisfaction of 4.6, while those earning 15 to 30,000 have a rating just above 4. Okay. So, all right. Well, okay. Turns out money can buy happiness, huh?
Yes. And I've always said, and I'm not picking on her because I like Susie Orman, but like there's advice that people who are rich or wealthy give to the mass majority of people. And there's a conversations that we have amongst ourselves. The truth is money cannot buy completion. It cannot buy purpose. It cannot buy everlasting joy. Happiness is for sale. You don't have to believe me, but go look at what the habits are of the top 5 banks, top 5 richest people. And I know people love to say, well, there's a bunch of rich people that are unhappy. When they raise inflation up the way that they have, it's going to lead to a lot of unhappiness in your household if you're not able to provide for your child. We just gave you a case of a school that isn't education first that costs on average 80 grand per year. Anyone who has kids or you have 2 kids in daycare, 3 kids in daycare, 3 kids go to private school, it's a strain to not have enough capital. And at one time in my life, I was broke as hell. Does money fix everything? No. But does it provide a lot of relief? Yes. And if that's the case, if money doesn't buy happiness, why do people go to work every day? I love to watch the actions. I'll do like you, Rashad. That sounds good. The money can, and I know there's a study that when people, there's not that much difference between 84,000 to 110,000. That's a sweet spot. All the people who tell you that have a net worth positive of $15 fucking million, why don't they get rid of the 14 million then? Or 14 and a half? Yes. Happiness has always been for sale, especially in this capitalist ass country. What do you think?
Having money is not everything. Not having it is. In the words of the great Kanye West. And I think that money just amplifies whatever. So you can be miserable with money, but you probably would be miserable without money as well, right? But I feel like money definitely, more money, more problems, like Big said, but it allows you financial freedom. It allows you to, think differently, allows you access to better doctors. Your health is going to be better 9 times out of 10. You're going to have access to better education. You're going to have access to better environments that you're living in. So you're
better food.
No, it goes without saying. Travel, exposure. So
who you date, who you marry. For
sure. So yeah, definitely. We can sugarcoat this thing and say that no. And like you said, it's not that as soon as you get money, you're just going to become an extremely happy person. Because if you wasn't happy already, then you might not be happy, but it'll definitely enhance your opportunities to have a happier life for sure.
Yep.
Because who really wants to struggle? Nobody really wants to struggle. You cope with it if that's your reality. Like, you have to deal with what you have to deal with.
We've
But I
all
don't
done
think
it. Yep.
nobody's aspirations is to struggle and to live paycheck to paycheck and to not know where your next meal is coming from and to, constantly worry about how you're going to pay your rent. Nobody, nobody wants to have that as
Mm-hmm.
as the aspiration, right? There's a reason why. Because if you've been in that situation, you know that that's not fun. There's nothing, glamorous about that. There's nothing
About
that
it. Yep.
you,
There's nothing honorable in it.
yeah, only thing you're thinking about is how you can get out of that situation. So you getting out of that situation, you want to be in a situation where you don't have to think about that. When you're comfortable, you don't have to worry about where your next meal is coming from. When you don't have to, when you can go to a restaurant and not have to worry about if your credit card is going to get declined, or if you can go to the gas station, not have to worry about how much money you can put into your gas tank before you reach your limit, right? Like these are real things, like, so it's definitely real. So when we talk about financial freedom and all the stuff that we talk about, it's not just to play a game of like Monopoly and see how much money you can pile on. It's because this type of stuff actually does help you from a mental standpoint, from a enjoyment standpoint, from a family standpoint. Even it can save your life. Definitely can save your life. If you're educated and you know how to make money and you can position yourself and you make the right decisions with your money. So I believe it. I believe it for sure. Definitely.
And no one will say it, but like you just stated and alluded to, one of the best feelings in the world, especially as a parent, is to be able to provide and not have to look at price. These are things that people who are really rich are never going to tell you. Even, and I love Warren. Warren probably financially, in terms of what he's done in the investment space, one of my biggest inspirations. There's a reason he sells y'all that illusion of still living in that house in Omaha and driving in that old car when he owns a fleet of jets and fleet of cars in another business that he never talks about or shows. That sound like, okay, this is the game. You can either sell the illusion of being modest, or you can go to the greatest heights and of luxury. Bezos chooses to do the luxury. He's earned it though. When you have so much money though, you have to play modest. Otherwise, you'll get demonized and vilified. Very few people who are well-to-do ever say, man, I want to give all this money away. They'll tell you lies like, when I die, I'm not going to let my kids have any of the money. They won't let them have it directly. It's in a fucking trust. Nobody's throwing away $20 billion. And if the money was so evil and provided so much unhappiness, why don't they give it to anybody black? It sounds good. Oh, this money brings me so much misery. Oh, God, the tears and pain that I go through with my lawyers and accountancy, and they'll go to no hood and drop this shit off to us. Why? But if I sell you an illusion that money doesn't buy you happiness, then I won't have to then be responsible for telling you how to get rich and create happiness and create family structure and create peace in a peaceful environment and create peaceful business friendships that you can grow to aspire to. But what do I know? I'm just some dude on YouTube talking who should stick to stocks. That's another thing. Y'all gonna keep saying that stick to stock shit, and then me and Rashad and Troy gonna figure out something, and then we're gonna get a whole 200-300 million in a day, and I ain't gonna want to talk about stocks no more. What's gonna happen? How many stocks do you really got in stock?
Too many options.
Come on,
it's too many options. Okay.
Y'all better go to Troy class for 100, because that wasn't my decision. If it was up to me, that should be 300-500 a day.
At least. EY University. Oh, I forgot to mention also, speaking of economic empowerment, we're giving away $50,000 pitch competition, Chicago, Illinois, August 4th. In your masters, go to our website. RSVP is free. Free event. Financial literacy pitch competition. You can enter the pitch and win $50,000 for your business. We'll be in Chicago on August 4th. Go to our website under the Earn Your Masters tab and RSVP. Because time is running out. That's a fact. Time is running out. When you see,
and I keep saying it, as soon as we got into the market and they start seeing everybody ball in Atlanta, man, inflation went up. globalization kicked in faster, COVID came, like they are destroying DEI. DEI is code for I don't want none of y'all ninjas in our business getting no money. Microsoft killed it, which is probably the most culturally diverse place. And the media got so bad, man. My boy Zuckerberg, when it got the Miami curls, right? He won't even tell you who he's voting for this time around, because they taught him a lesson in that 2022 drop when they had to go from Facebook to Meta, which y'all called. And I also know some of y'all want to kill me. Man, you said the death of Facebook. They changed the motherfucking name. You know how much litigation you got to go through to change a publicly traded company name when you're the #1 media company in the world? Zuckerberg just ride on a surfboard. Cool. It is dire times when someone as rich as Zuckerberg won't even tell you politically who he's going to vote for. And y'all think it's playtime now for us? They don't want us to have any money.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, that's a fact. When you see two friends fighting, do you intervene or do you let them work yourself out?
I won't mention the gentleman that I thought of when this came up, but I did hit one of them, but like, yo, what's going on? I don't like when my friends fight. I think fighting only causes confusion. And as we talked about with the Drake and Ross thing and Drake and Kendrick, fighting and confusion usually leads to war. Like arguments and fights are a declarative statement of war. So I try to, if I see my friends are having conflict, I try to talk to them, and both of them, like, hey, if your relationship means something to me, please stop for me. It's all fun and games, and then until somebody wants to elevate the conversation physically. So I try to intervene, but most of my friends don't fight. A great conversation I had, shout out to my homegirl Adrian. She was like, no arguments happen when there's true alignment. That shit was impactful to me. There's no arguments when there's true alignment. So usually these fights happen when the views or principles don't align, but I definitely try and step in. What about you?
Yeah, if you can, no, definitely. But sometimes, it goes too far and you can't. If I can be a mediator, then for sure, because most of the time it's not really that serious. Problems ain't really that they haven't gone that deep where it can't be resolved. So I feel like if you got two friends, then you got the air of both of them. You can definitely play a mediator in the situation 9 times out of 10. So if I can try to help out a situation or diffuse some tension, then I always would go about doing that. But if it's over my head, if it's out of my reach, if it's too serious, then I'm not going to try to step in the way of a train. You gotta kind of you gotta figure that out at your own at that point in time. But if you could dissolve a problem or if you could resolve a problem, that's always better than keeping something lingering, because problems never really go away. It's just going to get bigger and bigger over the course of time. So I always would lean on the side of trying to resolve issues with my friends if I could possibly do it.
What do you do? Well, I know you don't want to step in front of a train, but how do you stop it from even getting motion and momentum on the tracks? Because I'll try and catch it as soon as I see any little friction. Because like you said, once you cross a certain line, you can't say anything.
I mean, I just tell them like, yo, it's not, I don't think that this is beneficial. I think, how do we make this? How do we solve this issue? They'll usually say like, well, this is how I feel about it. This is da da da. I'm like, all right, well, if this person did this, how would you like? Would that be enough to just end the situation? Yeah, no, it's not really that big of a deal. But I just felt disrespected, stuff like that. Like, so that's something that I think is always beneficial if you could end the problem before it really becomes big.
Yeah. And the other part is like when you try and mediate it and fix it, then they still go do sucker shit behind the scenes or right after. That's tough.
Yeah.
I got a question. Is gatekeeping necessary? So like Somebody asked me this the other day, which I thought was fascinating. But if we give to the world and then part of the world tries to take that information to then cripple us, do you understand why certain people gatekeep?
Yeah, for sure, definitely. I feel like you said, if you give information, I mean, I'm pretty sure that the native people in America wish that they gatekeep their information hospitality from. I'm pretty sure the Egyptians
Absolutely.
wish that they would have gatekeep, because you gotta realize, like, the Greeks and the Romans, they went to Egypt at one point to learn. And they said that the Egyptians, they called their knowledge mysteries. And they said that the Greeks was children in their mysteries, meaning like they was just like they wasn't even on. And now Greek civilization, Roman civilization is looked at as like such an advanced culture, and all of the great philosophers come from Greece, and it's like they all learned. They went to Egypt to learn.
Yep.
That's a fact. All of the great Greek philosophers learned in Egypt. Well, they learned the information, then they invaded the country, then they burned the library down, then what else happened after that.
No, Egyptians aren't even African.
So
Make it make sense.
I think that it would have probably been beneficial for them to gatekeep that information, for sure. It probably would have been beneficial for Mansa Musa to gatekeep his wealth, as opposed to flaunting it and going to Egypt. And he ruined the Egyptian economy because they say he threw so much gold out that it devalued the price of gold, right? Like, he was throwing so much gold out, his peasants had gold. The gold wasn't even worth anything anymore. But that led to a lot of inquiries about, well, what are they doing over there, right?
Yeah.
So yes, to answer your question, sometimes in life it is better to gatekeep information, for sure, because everybody does not have good intentions. Some people have bad intentions, right?
Absolutely.
Some people want to use the information to hurt you. They'll use your information to hurt you, right? Or they'll use your information to hurt other people, right? So you got to be very careful about who you're educating, what kind of information you're sharing, because definitely sometimes trying to do a good thing could end up being a bad thing.
Bad thing. Yeah, I've said it before. I've never thought that the criticism, like when I was on Fat Man Scoop a couple of weeks ago, when I talked to Charlamagne at one time, I told you, and he was giving us that warning. He was like, I've never seen people have disdain for the kind of information y'all giving. And for those of you who may have been close with me and you took my information and you trying to remix it and da, man, no hard feelings. Just know that I know, and I won't be around you.
Ever.
I came in, I was straight in 2016. All I tried to do was help. If you decide to steal, that's cool. But when I get to weaponizing my brand loyalty and my platform and my partnerships, don't be upset. Come on.
Yeah.
If it was gang then, it got to be gang now.
Yeah. Don't expect more when you put in less work than all of them.
For real.
That's a fact.
But the B613 and CIA, I do not have a gang.
I am not gang.
For the record, I wanted to reflect clearly. No. Clean enterprise.
Clean enterprise. Okay. Let's get to some of these topics. What makes a great relationship? Let's see. There's an Instagram clip up, post, I believe.
Yes.
Make it put the post up. Okay. The best relationships are verbally packed and filled with intellectual conversations every day. The relationships where your partner is your best friend, the relationships where talking is normal, your relationship should be vocally loaded and open to the flaws of each other. It should not feel heavy and tense. It should feel light, verbal. Let your words live for the relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was a poignant point. What they shouldn't be dramatic, stressful, heavy on the heart, not peaceful. What I think I'm not a relationship expert. But I think they should be loving, kind, somebody who moves your soul, who encourages you, who makes you want to be better. You uplift each other. Conversations are easy to have. No arguments. And can you have disagreements? Yes. But also, I think having an argument with a person is a choice. Like I said, that statement about arguments being caused because you're not in alignment, that was really profound. But you have to choose to not want to argue. So if you're not peaceful, it is what it is. And once again, the person that you choose to be with is going to, especially if you're a man that is well-to-do, is the biggest investment decision you will make in the history of your life. It affects your health, the trajectory of your family, your kids, your business, how well you sleep, all of it. So this is why we keep bringing up this point. Like, do you think it's by design that they took our men out of the house so women can get welfare and then never taught us how to raise kids properly, while other communities have courses in their school curriculum about how to raise family? Or no, in this capitalist country?
Not a coincidence. Not a coincidence. Yep. Let me ask you this, because Joe Button had referenced an alleged dinner that happens annually at Fest with, you know, a lot of women. And
we play the clip. Talk about a media moment.
Yeah, for sure. So, you know, that's an alleged dinner. But it does bring to a point of a conversation, right? Okay. Wow. So, okay. Having women,
I will be there.
Having women around. This goes back to ancient harems, right? Why is having groups of women around so appealing? Other than the obvious reason of, okay, having attractive women attracts men to want to know even more so than showing your wealth. Like, you have two beautiful girls around you is actually even more appealing than having $1 million very rare Lamborghini. Somebody, you know what I'm saying, else to you. But it also attracts, this is the part that nobody talks about. It also attracts admiration and respect and mystery and want
from women.
That's the part that nobody wants to talk about.
We gotta talk about it.
That's the part that nobody wants. That is the part that nobody wants to talk about. It's obvious that beautiful women will attract men. Beautiful women will also attract women, right? Because women like the vibe of other attractive women. Look, this is
let's talk about it. Black out on this.
This is 100% facts, right? It's an interesting psychology play that I'm not, even if they're not attracted, I don't want, like, they don't got to be like bisexual or whatever, but I'm just saying that when a woman sees a guy by himself or with somebody that might not be attractive, then they're not paying that attention. If they see a guy with an attractive woman or multiple attractive women,
they all look happy. Oh my God.
He becomes more appealing to said woman 9 times out of 10. They're not. That's just a fact, right?
Big facts.
So why is that so hard for people to really admit that?
I think they understand it. They just may not be able to pull it off. Even in some of the criticism I get about talking about the babies, I keep telling you, one thing women respect more than anything else is honesty. All the babies will refer to each other as the babies.
What you say? They will refer to each other?
Yeah, that's the collective.
What do you mean? Can you explain that a little bit?
They'll be like, I know you be making your little jokes about us as the babies.
Are they a group chat?
Some of them don't want to participate. But I don't want to be involved in your little shenanigans. But the truth is, everyone's operating at multiples, and I'm single, so I can do whatever I want to. But they've also seen me be in a relationship and post and go crazy, But the thing is, like, and I gave y'all a little gem, fellas, when things about to be on the end, get the posting, your little baby. If she fine too, post it like crazy. Oh boy, I'll get cinematic mode. All the little photos I post in my story, I took. And get to posting like crazy. You'll attract something. I think it's especially amongst women and women. I know y'all won't break girl code in the chat, but please do. But a lot of times when a woman sees a man with an attractive woman or multiple and she looks happy, they are envisioning themselves what their life could be like if they're with you, especially if they are better for you. Especially if they're the number of people post breakup. I didn't like her for you, and I would be so much better. And I just think you need a woman who would love you like this. And da 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 da. That shit look cute, but it looked real cute in the boat in Cabo and the 13. Cool. And the 13 that didn't hurt me. Cool. So enjoy the trip.
So all right. So when this baby's conversation, it's like Ian's Angels. Is this what you're? This is what you're.
They're not for sale though. Shout to Taz. This is my personal.
It's your curate. You've curated a vibe.
Yes. And some of y'all weren't familiar with my game, but
they're comfortable. They're comfortable with that.
They may not like it, but they at least acknowledge that I'm being honest about what I'm doing. But they also know the other side, that if I am in love, I will be with that person and turn everything on earth down, which has been crazy because some of the people I turned down when I was in, so it's the truth. A lot of times people may not want you until they see you're in a situation, and this happens in jobs. A person that may have worked for a local accounting firm or a big 7, not the big 4 accounting firm, if they get in the big 4, they become more attractive to headhunters. So if you worked at Meta, now it opens up the ability for you to be able to go to Google, Cisco, Nvidia, AMD, etc. If you're working at the 9th best IT defense company in the world, you're not as attractive for whatever reason. I don't make up these rules. And even me being open and honest about what I've gone through in my relationships, even just showing the vulnerability, it makes a lot of women be like, okay, cool. Like at least you got some work to do. Don't get me wrong. But at least you're honest enough to have these conversations, especially in public, so I know what I'm getting into. That's why I keep saying, do most women want honesty, or they want the guy who plays perfect in the beginning and then they find out they're dealing with a demon? You know what you are getting into from the beginning, dealing with me. And then if I'm in love, then I'm gonna pour my all into you. Then
have you paid for a flight yet this year?
Have not. I got real close though, like 2 months ago. Mama, see, you know what I mean? But shout out to Mikey. Mikey, you know the vibe. LeBron something hit me the other day. Oh, man, hold on. You know what I mean? Oh, she had a comment. I know those kind of dinners. I was at one. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, cool. About the Joe Biden one? The Joe Biden comment?
Yeah. Who you gonna be at dinner with in August in Atlanta? I'm like, I ain't even finished the presentation yet. I don't know. But I will be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If y'all two men, if y'all want to be at the dinner, $5,000 a seat. Oh, I be feeling so bad too. Like when me and Ty come late, then the baddies got to get up from the table. They be eating the little shrimp cocktail stack and got to move to the kiddie table. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna be there early.
Oh man,
Joseph Anthony Button. Next time I go to the pod, I got you had a theory about me last year. I have one about you this year, my boy. We're gonna talk.
Yeah. Joseph Anthony Button. Oh, shout out to Joe, man. All right. That was entertaining to say the least. Okay.
How many dinners will there be though?
Every night. Let's do a different dinner every night. Some are more
intimate than others,
for sure. Let's say that. Let's say that. We got the sponsors dinner.
Got you. Got to play it cool, but then there's the dinner. Hey B, put me on all the list.
The dinner.
That's funny.
Oh man. Okay. The dinner. Okay. So let's talk about wow, this politician in California got on a state, I believe it was like a state floor, and made some very interesting comments. Let's play this clip.
Eggman. Thank you, Mr. President and members. I'd like to say, as a progressive, proud member of this body for the last 12 years, I'm done. I'm done with us protecting people who would buy and abuse our children. I'm done. I don't want to send more black and brown men to prison. I don't want more people in prison, but I don't want people buying girls. I don't want people buying little girls anymore. And I'm tired of saying it's okay and that we have to protect the men who do it. As a mental health professional and as a social worker, I can tell you I've spent my entire career working with people who have been wounded. I'm not going to say beyond repair, but they have been wounded to their core by the abuse that's been heaped on them, oftentimes by those that they love and look to protect them. And if their parents won't do it, then by God, we should. Again, I am not arguing that we open the gates to flood our prisons with people, but I am arguing that we have a moral responsibility to say enough. Enough. We have given away enough on this area, and we've got to move back into the center, or we all look like fools and laughing stocks. And what do we stand for? I ask all of you to watch the documentary that Senator Grove was in, Senator from Kern County was just in, that talked about this very place in Sacramento where girls are being bought and sold. Men are being given a little slap in the hand or a couple days, and then they're back out again, and they do the same thing. They get caught over and over and over again, and somehow that's okay. It's not okay. It is not okay anymore. And no more am I watching. Like I said, I'm leaving, but the rest of you who are going to be here for a while, let's get our stuff together and really start focusing on some of the important things. We talk about learning and we talk about being safe. This is like at the core of it. And a lot of these kids can be throwaway kids. They're poor kids. They're kids of color. But they shouldn't have to live a life determined by what happens to them by others at a very young age and by have the Democratic Party of California say it's okay. It's not okay. And I'm not doing it anymore, and I hope none of you do too. We have to be able to draw a line, and for me, I'm drawing a line. I urge your I vote.
Okay. So she had spoke about not wanting to protect people anymore for pedophilia activities and different things of that nature. I'm assuming it caught her colleagues by surprise. Okay, it's interesting. What do we make of this?
I commend her for telling the truth. In light of, I hope she stays alive. I can hear Dom talking to me right now. There's two topics that I'm afraid to touch on. This is one of them. One thing I do love about going to Mexico, like you see the beautiful beach side, and there's like the side of Mexico that's in the day, and then there's a dark side of Mexico, right? And that's true of every economy in every city. When you get to the underworld of this, and Epstein proved a lot of this, B613, CIA, FBI, do not have to worry about me. I'm not going to go down this list at all. So take me off the little list. But I think after being in those seats and those positions, you get to see things that most people are not going to see, and it has to weigh heavy on your heart. My only problem that I have, paraphrasing, is her saying that she won't hide this any longer. And it's like, well, why didn't you say something before?
Why'd you hide it?
Those who don't
at all.
And then Kendrick has touched on it. Like, I think in this decade, the can of worms is going to be ripped off, and the people are going to find out a lot of things about things that are happening. And it goes up very high, and I'm going to leave it alone at that. But I commend her for at least saying something. And now, for those of you, once again, I'm going to be like, don't hold back. It's a controversial show. I'm not going to die for entertainment when I make more money than entertainers. I'm giving you the information as is. So, but what do you make of it?
You know, I don't have enough information to speak intelligently on this. I don't have enough information to speak intelligently, but I will say this: there is a sex tourism is a very big thing, and it's extremely disturbing. where and this isn't directly related to what she's saying, but it is an issue. Like, you go to these different countries and you see, like, went to like Asia and stuff like that, and you see like old men that are coming to to that's the reason why they're coming. And
Allegedly. That's funny why they're coming. That's funny.
That's very disturbing. So it's one of these things, man. It's really one of these things, bro. I don't know how we solve these issues because it's been around for centuries. But I just
you have to protect our kids though,
at all costs, and especially now with the internet, social media. Scary times, man. It's very, very scary.
They're trying already, but y'all go Google, what is that? The Same Boy Love Association or something. Like, they're trying to push for legislation for the age of consent to be lowered to 12 in some cases amongst same-sex love.
Yeah.
Be careful. Protect your kids at all costs.
Please. Okay, so there's a woman went viral for saying that she only lets her kids bathe once a week. Can we show this clip, please?
Yes.
My children probably bathe maybe once a week.
Talk to us about how you only bathe your kids once a week. I want to know more about that.
Well, first off, I just let my kids do what they want to do. I have 4 children. I'm not going to fight with my kids over little stupid things like bathing.
Agreed.
Like,
what's the age gap again?
Almost 10, 7, 5, and 2.
Woo, you're in it.
Yeah.
So you don't make them bathe every day. You'll just do when they want to once a week.
If it's once a week, like now they swim. We have a pool and they swim in the summer. So I guess we call that bathing. So it's probably even less than that, but no, we tell it like our kids have autonomy over their bodies and their rooms, assuming, and they can make all the choices around that, assuming they're safe.
Okay. So she only lets her kid bathe once a week, right?
Yep.
What does that mean?
So much I want to say. I want to be sensitive. So, but when I first saw this clip, I was like, I know this isn't in our culture. So that's the obvious take. Second take is she's taking your body, your choice too far. Now, if you have that many kids in the house and a toddler and a kid going through puberty, that house has to smell like a shit show. No pun intended. I think this is crazy, but I don't know. I don't believe in this. I just thought it was fascinating. There's no proven benefit for this. So now, if you don't bathe your kid every day because you're tired and you miss a day, cool. But once a week is wild. It's wild.
This goes back to okay. It goes back to that washcloth conversation. Did we have the washcloth conversation?
I don't think so.
So there was a clip that went viral a few months ago about there was a couple white people and they were saying that they
non-melanated. Let's say that because I don't want to lose our connection.
They didn't understand the concept of washcloth. They was actually laughing about it. Like only poor people use washcloths. It's dirty, carries bacteria, germs. Who does that? Who uses washcloths? And it was like, well, how do you wash your butt? And she's like, well, my hand. All right. Hygiene 101. Here's my Hygiene 101 if you're interested.
First segment, sponsored by P&G.
You should brush your teeth twice a day.
Minimum.
3 times a day if you really want to be technical about it, but at the very least twice a day. You should brush your teeth before you eat breakfast. I get on my son about this. He has a bad habit of eating.
Why do kids do this first, right? Xander tries to do that. I hope.
Yeah, he eats breakfast and then he brushes his teeth. His theory is that by brushing your teeth is going to make the breakfast taste nasty because
it's worse. Yeah,
mint in your mouth. I wasn't raised like
I don't care. Yeah,
brush it and use Listerine or plaque. You gotta use that first. The solution. You gotta use some form of solution first, and you should be flossing also. Okay, that's one thing. you should use wipes when you go to the bathroom. That's vitally
Wipe me
important.
down.
If you do a number,
Oh.
if you're using a number two, if you're a number two, you should use wipes at all costs. You should take a shower at least once. At least
once a day.
At least once.
Ideally twice.
Ideally twice. At least once a day. Okay. Here's my. I don't know. Tell me if this is too far, but this is what I do. I use 3 washcloths and they're color coded. White, gray. I know that white is for my face. It's easy.
Yep.
I know that gray is for my body.
Yep.
And blue is I'm washing my butt with blue, right? This is
hard Democrat. No, go ahead.
I don't want to use that washcloth to wash my body with. That's not sanitary. Yeah. And I damn sure don't want to wash my face with that. I don't want to have to wash my underarms and then wash my face with the same washcloth. Doesn't make sense to me. You should wash your washcloths regularly. Once every 4 days or so.
3 or 4 maximum.
3 or 4 days, you should wash your washcloths.
Change your sheets every 4 days.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, that's my hygiene 101. And
listen, I knew people was nasty when I got on me for about taking showers twice a day and putting on cologne.
You should take
you put on cologne before you go to. I'm like, you nasty. Wash your ass.
You should take your shoes off when you enter your house because you track dirt, worm. That was all.
Virus.
Most people don't do that, but that's how I was raised. In Hawaii, they take their shoes off before they even get into the house. They leave their shoes on the outside. It's bad.
That's smart.
Bad spirits in your home but you should take your shoes off when you enter your house. My rule 101 of sanitary behavior. Now, what I realize is that a lot of people don't follow those sanitary rules. Showering is optional for a lot of people. Washcloths, never heard of them before. People don't brush their teeth. Or
scrape their tongue.
Oh, forget about it. Not even thinking about that. Or their gums.
Yeah.
Or the top of your gums too. They don't even. Wash their hair. You'd be surprised how many people don't even wash their hair. Never wash their hair.
Dusty.
Wowzers. Could you be with somebody that was unsanitary?
I'm good. I'm too bougie. I ain't get left out bad and bougie. Nope. Get your nasty ass from around me. I'm cool. That's the first thing when I meet somebody I'm watching. Boy, and I know some of y'all want to criticize. Hey, y'all go away for 2 or 3 little days, you get to see all the habits up front. It's a deep dive into like how they operate their life. Check out that car, how they take care of their body. Tell me everything I need to know about how they feel about themselves. No way, no how. If I shower more than you, can't do it. Make the bed up as soon as you get up. Nope. You got to take care. And then some of y'all be like, yo, my love life not going well. You may not know what the scent that you're giving off. Gotta be mindful. But what do I know? Speaking of health, should all plastic products that hold foods be banned? And should people be consuming Costco chicken if it's under those heating lamps? And can we play the clip?
Play the clip.
Costco's net sales are about $246 billion per year. $685 million of that comes from sales of their $5 rotisserie chicken. They sold 137 million of them last year, according to the new CEO, Ron Vacris. Chances are you've eaten one of those. I have. They're great. Have you noticed they now come in a flexible plastic bag rather than that stiff dome plastic container? If you know me at all, you know I have concerns about hormone disruption from food in plastic containers. And the combination of hot foods and grease is a particular concern. If a plastic is going to leach out troublesome substances into food, it'll do it most under a heat lamp and in contact with oils from that delicious moist chicken. So the first thing I look for is the RIC to see what type of plastic the bag is made from. The resin identification code. That's the number in the triangle on most plastic containers. And guess what? There isn't one on these new Costco flexible bags. So I called the Costco corporate office and asked what it is. The person I spoke to couldn't find the answer, but took my information, including my membership number, and said she'd call me back or email me with the answer. All the press reports that I've seen on this have said they haven't heard back from Costco after asking the same question. I sincerely hope that doesn't happen to me. I like Costco. I've found them to be very customer friendly and responsive and accommodating. So I'm hopeful they'll be forthright with the buyers of those 137 million rotisserie chickens with straight information on how they're packaged. They have said that they're BPA free. That's good. But as I've said before, BPA is often replaced in a toxic swap with something as bad or worse. So when you hear BPA free, your first question should always be, what else is in there? I'll let you know what they say.
You know, this plastic thing is disturbing because, you know, I drink water out of plastic water bottles. I think most people do.
Yeah.
But it's been proven that, I mean, yeah, the plastic kind of disintegrates a little bit and can actually end up causing cancer. So it's like, I guess glass is what you should be using.
Much better. Yep.
But yeah, most of the stuff is in plastic, right? Plastic containers, plastic water bottles, plastic bags, plastic all over the place. So yeah, you know, that's disturbing for sure. And this chicken thing, you know, that's one of the reasons why I stopped eating chicken. I stopped eating chicken 4 years ago. I went cold turkey, and keep in mind, I ate chicken every single day for my whole entire life. And 4 years ago, I was eating chicken. I used to go to this spot every single day. I used to get the same stuff. I used to get the same thing every day for lunch: chicken wings, rice. I forgot what the other thing, but I used to get the chicken wings every single day, like the little chicken wings. I used to get them. It was like it was a $5 lunch. I get chicken wings every single day. And 5 years ago, I just, you know, I was looking at the chicken wings. I started to examine it, and I just saw a hair on the arms, which is understandable because it's like humans; they have hair. But that just didn't sit right with my stomach.
It turned you off.
It turned me off.
Yeah.
And then I just started to realize that just eating chicken it just wasn't sitting right with my spirit anymore. And it just wasn't even tasting the same. Like, it didn't taste like the chicken that I grew up on. So I said, yo, I'm gonna stop eating chicken. And that was 5 years ago, and I haven't touched a chicken wing ever since. So I definitely feel like this chicken, something is in the chicken for sure.
Of course.
Something is in the chicken, hormones, and it's not the same. So I don't want to knock anybody that's eating chicken. I don't want to sound like the food police. But for me personally, I'm very suspicious of poultry nowadays.
And if it's wrapped in plastic that comes from, as talked about in the video, which comes from petroleum, not the healthiest. But once again, this is why, like, it's interesting that in order to eat healthy, how the food should be, you have to be rich to be able to eat healthy food in the States. If you go to another country, I've said it before, people go to England like the food is bland. It's like, it's not bland per se. Our taste buds have been fucked up from all the preservatives and GMO and MSG in the food here. The food in other countries tastes how it should taste. But if I can profit from making you sick or mass producing food, because we consume too much food at scale, if you get sick from it as a result, by design, then I can put you into that health pipeline of putting you on pills for the rest of your life or surgeries endlessly. All this is done by design. And even in order to live the cleanest life and freshest life, you need money to be able to go to another country just to be able to have retreat away from some of the toxins that we're bathing in. Crazy world we live in.
Yeah. Okay. Before we leave,
You gonna call Elliot and Charlamagne and tell them stop fighting?
what's their problems?
Charlamagne called Elliot pretty much a sucker for hating on everybody and being an OG elder statesman. Elliot then said, "Fuck you, Charlamagne." As a result, all over the complex list. You know, both friends of the show, Charlamagne, appreciate you dearly. I don't think Charlamagne was lying, but he was just saying, yo, I don't want to be a 50-year-old that's hating on new people in a space, trying to hold on to whatever legacy that I built. Now, I think he could have said it in a calmer way, but me being me, I get the directness of what he was saying, but I don't like to see our elder statesmen or icons in the space not getting along.
Yeah, hopefully those brothers can work out the differences. You know, I rock
Yeah.
with Charlemagne. Elliot,
Yep.
cool dude too. Ran into him a few times. You know, chopped it up. Every time we chopped it up with him, it's always been cool. So
Yeah.
yeah, nobody wins when the family feuds.
Nope.
Nobody wins.
Especially over a list from Complex that we don't own.
Right. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yep.
That's a
Yep.
fact. Okay. What else do we have?
My final question: if you got shot with an AR-15, do you think you would have to have surgery in your ear if you got shot?
Good chance. Plastic surgery at the very least. They said that part of his ear is never going to come back.
No shit. But to not have surgery is interesting, or not need it. So they just stitched it up and
Yeah,
613 CIA, that World Economic Forum. I'm on your side. Don't come for me. I like living.
no medical reports have been released yet. Interesting. You don't find that suspicious? Dr. Umar voice.
You gotta wait till after the election. You gotta see if Biden gonna step out.
How
If Biden
long,
drop out, they're gonna put the reports out.
how long is too long to go on a vacation with somebody?
Are we in relationship or we know?
Let's do new. Let's do a new vibe.
No, too long. Let me see. I'm trying to 7 days if you know.
7 days? What?
That's too long.
That is a lifetime. That is
That's
a
too long.
lifetime. I feel like 3. Anything more than 3, you're really pushing it. So my theory has
You
always
think
been
so?
weekend vibe. Friday, because let's say you go into
They're gonna fly on Friday afternoon. They gotta clear
right.
through customs.
Exactly.
You ain't really getting up. Oh, you trying to get in and get them out. Gotcha.
Nah, Friday night. You by the time
Okay, is this just a vibe or y'all trying to build to be in a relationship? I said 7 is too long for the record.
7 is hella long. 7 is hella long. Anything after 3 days, you wish somebody for 3 days. That's a long time. So I feel like Friday, you get in Friday, like you said, you check in. We really got the second half of Friday into Friday night, so it's like a half a day. Saturday, you got the whole day. Sunday, you got the whole day, and then you leave on Monday. Right? That's the weekend.
Monday morning.
That's the weekend warrior.
Gotcha.
Just me. This is my own personal thoughts. Anything
You
longer
smart.
than that, you run risk. You start to run risk. When you get into Tuesday, now you're in dangerous territory.
If the vibe not great.
You're in dangerous deep waters at that point in time. Like Wednesday, forget about it. It's over.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Shoot me in the head type shit.
That's funny. Do you have detachment issues? Hey, shout out to all y'all who go to therapy all the time, but y'all ain't like improve from the shit y'all learn from the therapist. Y'all got to do the work outside of therapy. Are you an avoidant attachment?
But I'll tell you this: if you can be with somebody for a long, if you could be with somebody for a week, then that's somebody who you really are taking serious and you advise. These are just life lessons that I've learned that I'm just trying to give some game to somebody that's out there. But if you just starting out, you just catching a vibe. A weekend,
3 days is ideal.
Recommended. A weekend is recommended. Yeah. Don't try to spend the whole honeymoon on the first time you ever leave with the country with somebody. Like try to spend 7 days with a person. That highly unrecommendable.
Yeah, unless y'all vibe is a maximum. Me and old girl did that the first time.
And never go too far where you can't get back. Meaning, don't go to Thailand on the first vibe. Right? Like you
that's crazy.
Go within arm's reach. Caribbean.
If it goes wrong, you can fly yourself back.
Right. Exactly.
Yes.
Let's stay in North America. Don't start going to Asia and Europe on the first.
And Phuket and all that. Nope. I know y'all want to go to Bora Bora. If you don't know it's boring, you got to go with somebody you love to them little cottages on the water.
Exactly. No. Don't go to Bora Bora.
It looks so beautiful. Ain't nothing out there.
Mykonos. You trying to go to Mykonos on the first vibe?
Nope.
Dangerous.
Bet we don't.
Puerto Rico. It is. Puerto Rico. It is.
Fellas, try to give y'all the blueprint. You got to say it on your stories media in advance. So when why can't we stay longer? Baby, this has been my rule. See, I posted my story 3 weeks ago. Smart. Very smart. All right, media master, boy. You're a media master. Yeah, 3 days is good because y'all can live in an illusion off 3 days. You get to that 5th day, you get to see the real.
No.
Y'all start getting on each other's nerves. That's when you find out like if y'all really rocking with each other or not.
And you still leave room for more, right? Like, all right, we had a good weekend. All right,
so smart.
Go back. We're not going to see each other for a couple of days. Let that momentum, like you don't feel like, damn, I've been with this person too long. Like,
You ever been somewhere 7 days and then like booked 1 for 3 and the next 1 for 3?
What you mean? What you mean?
You come Saturday through Monday, then she come Tuesday through Thursday.
The rotation play is crazy.
Not the bad. Sector rotation. Yeah, y'all always want to talk about sector rotation. Y'all rotated like that or no? Yeah. What's up?
Sector rotation is crazy. Yep. That's crazy work. That's crazy.
I'm just saying, if y'all spend 5-6 days together, you really know if y'all got something in a relationship. Now, if y'all just gonna vibe, 3 days. 3 days and go ahead, go home. Really 2.5. 2.5.
2.5 to go a good jump.
Yeah.
2.5 to good jump.
Just if we vibing. But if you're trying to build and see if y'all got compatibility in a relationship, 5 days is good.
There you have.
What you think about Hulk Hogan endorsing Trump?
I just love how America is so double-sided, right? Like Donald Trump had securities from like Hell's Angels. Hell's Angels is like a motorcycle gang, right? Some of these guys have actually been in jail. Imagine if Barack Obama had in his security detail members of GDs and Rolling 60 Crips and Pyros. Imagine if that was part of his security detail. Imagine what would be said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan, an entertainer, somebody who's been, has allegations of racism, and even if let's take that away,
he said hard ER a bunch of times when Brooke was getting some.
He's a wrestler, right? Imagine if Barack Obama would have got, his endorsement from John Bone. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like one of these like type dude, and that was like the person that walked him out. It's one thing to get an endorsement, but imagine if he got walked out and brought out from the Democratic convention from Floyd Mayweather was the person that brought him on to the stage to accept his nomination to be a Democrat. How would he get ridiculed? Like, oh, he got a boxer bringing him on stage. How is he taken serious? Like this is embarrassing to democracy. But once again, the double standards. Hulk Hogan comes out, rips his shirt off, all of that, and it's entertainment. It's enjoyable. It's laughable. But it's like this is a serious matter. This is the nomination for the Republican Party, and we have WWE stunts.
Yeah, and Hell's Angels. Yeah.
Says a lot about the times that we're in. But what can you do?
So did Drake get the same criticism for having Hell's Angels protect him or no?
Drake? He had Hell's Angels protecting him?
Big 81.
Who's Big 81?
Hell's Angels.
Okay, but Drake's a rapper. That's what I'm saying. Drake don't matter. Drake can have anybody who protected him, but I'm just saying as far as the president of the United States, I'm just saying the scrutiny. They criticized Obama for wearing a tan suit.
Big facts. And the suit was fire too.
They said it was unpresidential. It was embarrassing. Like he wore a tan suit. He got criticized for wearing a tan suit. That's the most that they had on him. That's the biggest scandal that he's had of his presidential career, that he wore a tan suit, right?
Yep.
What would they say if, and forget the criminal records, what would they say if Barack Obama had the FOI as his security?
Oh, it's been over with. They canceled Arsenio Hall for having Farrakhan on. What? It's over with. Like we already know.
Come on, man. Like we already know what the situation is. But like I said, these dudes really have criminal records. Like I've looked at some of these dudes that's around Trump has served Fed time. They served Fed time, state time, and it doesn't even matter. It really don't.
Yeah.
Really don't. So Hulk Hogan bringing Trump out. Why not? Theatrics. It plays at this point. Nothing will surprise me at this point. It doesn't matter. Like I said, he should have came out to Many Men. I think he missed the opportunity for that because that would have been a big moment. But yeah, nothing that Trump does at this point is going to surprise me from now to November.
Yeah, and Hogan been a racist too. So
yeah,
man, Vince McMahon and a few others. So not surprised.
Not surprised at all. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been real.
International Monetary Fund, protect me, please.
Please. Next week we will have the announcement about blackout at InvestFest. We'll be breaking that next week.
Oh, I can't wait.
That's going to be one of the ones.
It's going to be legendary. It's going to be legendary.
All right. Well, it's been real, ladies and gentlemen.
Love y'all dearly.
InvestFest. We'll see you guys next week. Make sure you enter code Market Mondays at EY University for your discount. And we'll see what the Democrats have up their sleeves.
It's a crazy time we live in. IanInvest.com if you want to get rich from the market. November is going to be tricky. Get your tickets to InvestFest. I love y'all. Oh, and put in comments what topics you may want us to talk about next week. We'll be doing live callers soon, but put in the comments what some topics you want us to cover for next week. Love y'all.
Love.